Warning, I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Rock and roll icon Alice Cooper is being canceled by a cosmetics company he had a partnership with over some recent statements he made during an interview with Stereo Gum to promote his new record called Road, which is out everywhere now. This is actually Alice Cooper's 28th album, releasing while he is 75 years of age. I saw him perform this year. He's actually unbelievably mobile up on stage for his age. Seriously, if anybody has seen him live, back me up on this.
Well, he's right about that. We just went and saw him in August in Raleigh, North Carolina.
But during this recent interview, he has faced some backlash for comments that he made during this. It also appears that the guitarist of The Offspring, Noodles, is throwing some shade at him for these statements during this conversation. So first, let's take a look at what the cosmetics company said. They're saying that they're going to be issuing refunds for all of the orders of people for this product launch they were going to be doing together. It's not going to be happening now. This is what they said in their statement in light of that interview. They shared on their Instagram, in light of recent statements by Alice Cooper, we will no longer be doing a makeup collaboration. We stand with all members of the LGBTQIA+ community and believe everyone should have access to healthcare. All pre-order sales will be refunded.
Well, first of all, fuck him. And second of all, what did he say exactly? From Stereo Gum, we've got a file on you, Alice Cooper. August 23, 2023. By Rachel Brodsky. Thoughts about sexuality and gender. In a 1974 interview with Spec, you gave really forward-thinking responses to questions about sexuality and gender. You said, quote, in the future, everyone will be bisexual. And you accurately defined pansexuality, among other things. You also said, quote, lots of men who perform wear makeup. That's a theatrical tradition. It has nothing to do with sexuality. Recently, some of your, quote, theatrical rock peers have commented about gender identity, with Paul Stanley and Dee Snider calling gender-affirming care for kids a, quote, sad and dangerous fad. As someone who played around with gender expectations early on, do you have any thoughts on what some of your contemporaries have said before they walked those comments back? Cooper, yeah, I'm understanding that there are cases of transgender. I'm afraid that it's also a fad. And I'm afraid there's a lot of people claiming to be this just because they don't want to be that. I find it wrong when you've got a 6-year-old kid who has no idea. He just wants to play. And you're confusing him, telling him, yeah, you're a boy, but you could be a girl if you want to be. I think that's so confusing to a kid. It's even confusing to a teenager. You're still trying to find your identity, and yet here's this thing going on saying, yeah, but you can be anything you want. You could be a cat if you want to be. I mean, if you identify as a tree, and I'm going, come on, what are we in, a Kurt Vonnegut novel? It's so absurd that it's gone now to the point of absurdity. The whole woke thing, nobody can answer this question. Maybe you can. Who's making the rules? Is there a building somewhere in New York where people sit down every day and say, okay, we can't say mother now, we have to say birthing person. Get that out on the wire right now. Who is the person that's making these rules? I don't get it. I'm not being old school about it, I'm being logical about it. It's getting to the point now where it's laughable. If anybody was trying to make a point on this thing, they turned it into a huge comedy. I don't know one person that agrees with the woke thing. I don't even know one person. Everybody I talk to says, isn't it stupid? And I'm going, well, I respect people. I respect people who they are. But I'm not going to tell a 7-year-old boy, go put a dress on because maybe you're a girl. And he's going, no, I'm not, I'm a boy. So I say, let somebody at least become sexually aware of who they are before they start thinking about if they're a boy or a girl. A lot of times, I look at it this way, the logical way. If you have these genitals, you're a boy. If you have those genitals, you're a girl. There's a difference between, quote, I'm a male who is a female, or I'm a female that's a male and wanted to be a female. You were born a male. Okay, so that's a fact. You have these things here. Now, the difference is you want to be a female. Okay, that's something you can do later on if you want to. But you're not a male born a female. Stereogum. I don't think parents are encouraging doubt in their kids' identities. I would just hope that they listen to their kids and find pediatricians that provide appropriate care. Cooper. Well, I can see somebody really taking advantage of this, though. A guy can walk into a women's bathroom at any time and just say, I just feel like I'm a woman today, and have the time of his life in there. And he's not in the least bit. He's just taking advantage of that situation. Well, that's going to happen. Someone's going to get raped. And the guy's going to say, well, I felt like a girl that day, and then I felt like a guy. Where do you draw this line? Something's going to raise its ugly head. And all of a sudden, people are going to start going, wait a minute. We've got to get this under control.
And so now you have Noodles as well, the guitarist of The Offspring, appearing to react to this, sharing this on Twitter. It's so disheartening to see some aging rockers outing themselves as anti-trans bigots, especially those rockers who were gender-bending pioneers in their youth.
So he said that right after he gets canceled. But he's talking about Alice Cooper, Dee Snider, and Paul Stanley. What's one thing all three of those people have in common? They're all very ugly, so I can see why they would want to wear makeup on stage. But we should have expected this from The Offspring, because they're a cuck rock band, and they kicked their drummer out for not getting vaccinated. And their singer is a virologist, so what's that tell you? And also, I think I can partially answer Alice Cooper's question. The whole woke thing. Nobody can answer this question. Maybe you can. Who's making the rules? Is there a building somewhere in New York where people sit down every day and say, okay, we can't say mother now, we have to say birthing person. Get that out on the wire right now. Who is the person that's making these rules? I don't get it. Well, I don't know about every day, but they do meet up. And he was right about New York. Meet there and other places.
On May 5, 2009, some of America's leading billionaires met in a private Manhattan home just a week before the annual meeting of the secretive Bilderbergers. Calling themselves the Good Club, attendees reportedly included Bill Gates, David Rockefeller Jr., Warren Buffett, George Soros, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Ted Turner, and Oprah Winfrey. According to John Harlow of the Sunday Times, the group, while not going so far as to advocate active depopulation strategies, agreed with Gates that human overpopulation was a priority concern. Harlow said there was nothing as crude as a vote, but a consensus was reached that they would back a strategy in which population growth would be tackled as a potentially disastrous environmental, social, and industrial threat. Apparently, those with great wealth and power have decided to take overpopulation into their own hands.
The Gates Foundation offers a gender identity toolbox, which asserts that gender is a result of socially and culturally constructed ideas. This is a lie. Gender is not a cultural construct. It is a genetic and biological fact.
So if it wasn't obvious, what this comes down to is overpopulation. If you confuse kids and castrate them, whether chemically or surgically, so they can't have kids, that helps solve the problem. But another thing is, they're not only creating a generation of people that can't reproduce, they'll never know what an orgasm is or be able to have one. And if you think about it, that's diabolical. But Noodles from The Offspring supports it, so.
Fucking stoned.